My beloved child, there is a quiet moment arriving in your life that many would overlook, yet this moment carries the beginning of something you have waited for longer than you realize. Right now, while you are listening, unseen pieces are moving into place, and what once felt delayed is no longer standing still. Do not skip, because something huge is waiting for you, and the next few moments may speak directly to the part of your heart that has been asking why certain doors stayed closed for so long. You thought the silence meant nothing was happening. You wondered whether your efforts were unseen, whether your patience had been forgotten, whether the chapters you dreamed of were meant for someone else. But listen carefully, the chapter that is beginning does not arrive like the old ones. It does not begin with noise. It begins softly, almost quietly, as if life is whispering before it suddenly changes its voice. There are days you looked around and felt as if everyone else was moving ahead while you were standing in a place that refused to change. Yet what you could not see was that the waiting itself was building strength inside you. Every delay carried preparation. Every unanswered question carried hidden direction. Every time you thought nothing was happening, something was being arranged beyond your sight. Stay till the end, because what is about to unfold in your life may first appear small, but it will not remain small for long. A conversation, a new thought, an unexpected opening, a message, a sudden peace, a decision you did not expect yourself to make, these are often how great chapters begin. Not with thunder, but with one simple shift that changes everything after it. There is a reason your spirit has felt different lately. A reason you have sensed something changing even when you could not explain it. A reason old feelings no longer fit the way they used to. You are standing closer than you think to a line between what was and what will be. Once you cross it, you will understand why certain things had to end before this could begin. The chapter ahead will ask you to release what you kept carrying long after it stopped helping you. Some memories cannot enter where you are going. Some fears cannot speak where your future is opening. Some voices that made you doubt yourself will lose their power because this next season requires clarity, not confusion. Do not skip, because many people stop listening right before the most important sentence reaches them. Hear this fully: what felt unfinished was not abandoned. What looked delayed was not denied. The story did not end where you thought it ended. It paused because a stronger page had not yet turned. Soon you will notice that things which once drained your strength no longer control your thoughts the same way. You will notice unusual calm in places where you expected worry. You will notice that something inside you is becoming steady, and that steadiness will help you recognize opportunities you once would have ignored. A new chapter often begins when you least expect it because expectation sometimes becomes too narrow to see what is actually arriving. You may have imagined one path, but what is coming may look different, and still be better than what you pictured. Something huge is waiting for you, but you must remain open enough to recognize it when it appears. Sometimes blessings arrive wearing ordinary clothes. Sometimes the answer comes through a small beginning that people underestimate. Sometimes the greatest shift begins in a single day that first looks ordinary. There are people who once doubted your future because they only saw your current place. They measured your story by a temporary season. They assumed silence meant weakness, and waiting meant nothing was changing. But chapters turn without asking permission from those who misunderstood you. Stay till the end, because there is one truth you need to hold carefully. What is beginning now carries a different weight than what came before. This is not another circle repeating itself. This is movement with purpose. This is direction after uncertainty. This is light reaching places that felt forgotten. Even now, something inside you may already feel the shift. That inner pull, that quiet expectation, that strange feeling that something important is near, it is not without meaning. Your heart often senses movement before your eyes can confirm it. The next chapter may require courage in a way the last one did not. It may ask you to trust before proof arrives. It may ask you to step while the full picture is still forming. But remember, many doors only become visible when you move toward them. Do not skip, because there is another part you need to hear clearly. Not everything leaving your life was loss. Some things had to move away so what belongs could finally reach you without obstruction. You may soon look back and realize that moments you called disappointment were actually redirections. That what hurt you also separated you from paths that would have taken more than they gave. That what felt like ending was protection for something greater ahead. The chapter beginning for you carries restoration in places where you expected emptiness. It carries answers where you had almost stopped asking. It carries fresh energy where you felt tired of trying. But this chapter also asks you not to speak against your own future while it is forming. Be careful what you call impossible while new doors are already moving toward you. Be careful not to close your heart because old experiences taught you caution. The future does not always repeat the past. Something huge is waiting for you, and part of receiving it is staying awake enough to notice the first sign when it arrives. It may not look dramatic at first, but once it begins, you will know why this message found you today. There are moments that quietly divide life into before and after. You may be standing near one now. One decision, one meeting, one realization, one new piece, one unexpected opening, these things can become the first sentence of a chapter you will never forget. And when it begins, you will understand why your spirit was told to stay open, because closed hearts often miss gentle beginnings, while open hearts recognize them before anyone else does. Do not move away yet. Stay with this message, because the next part carries something even deeper, something many people miss until it is almost in front of them. There is a reason this message continues reaching you, because some moments in life do not arrive twice, and what is near you now deserves your full attention. The chapter opening before you is not ordinary, it carries a turning point hidden inside small moments, and if you listen carefully, you will begin to understand why certain feelings have followed you recently without explanation. Do not skip, because something huge is waiting for you, and the next part of your story may begin through something you almost dismissed. What appears simple at first may carry unusual meaning. A word you hear, a thought that returns strongly, a person crossing your path, a door opening where there had only been silence, these things may become the first clear sign that movement has already begun. You have been expecting change to arrive loudly, yet often the strongest chapters begin quietly enough that only those who stay attentive can recognize them. That is why this moment matters. If your heart has felt restless lately, if your mind has been returning again and again to what could come next, that feeling is not empty. Sometimes the spirit senses new direction before life fully reveals it. Stay till the end, because one truth is becoming clearer. What once held you in uncertainty is losing its power. The same thoughts that used to weigh heavily on you will soon feel weaker, because the chapter ahead will not feed old fears. It will ask you to see yourself differently, to stop measuring your future by what failed before. There are people who looked at your quiet season and assumed nothing meaningful was happening. They did not know that hidden preparation often looks like stillness from the outside. They saw waiting, but they did not see growth. They saw delay, but they did not see what was forming underneath. Something huge is waiting for you, and part of that greatness is this: the next opportunity may arrive from a direction you did not expect. It may not come through the path you imagine most. It may appear through a conversation you almost ignored, through a fresh idea that returns repeatedly, through courage you suddenly feel after months of hesitation. Do not skip, because many leave too early and miss the sentence meant exactly for them. What belongs in your new chapter will not require you to become someone false. What is meant for you will meet the strongest truth inside you, not the version shaped by fear. You may soon notice that certain old disappointments no longer have the same hold on your thoughts. This is not accidental. It is a sign that something new is already making space inside you. When life prepares to place new weight in your hands, it often teaches you to release what no longer needs to be carried. Stay till the end, because there is another once-in-a-lifetime truth here. Some of the things you thought were lost were only delayed until the right moment could support them. Timing changes meaning. What felt impossible in one season becomes natural in another. A chapter changes not only what happens around you, but how you hear yourself inside. Soon you may hear confidence where doubt once spoke loudly. You may feel peace in places where uncertainty used to return every day. You may even surprise yourself with how ready you feel when the moment arrives. Something huge is waiting for you, but readiness matters. Keep your heart open when ordinary days begin to shift. Sometimes the most unforgettable day begins like every other day until one small event changes its direction. The chapter beginning now also asks you to trust that quiet beginnings are still beginnings. Not every important step announces itself with immediate proof. Some things grow silently before they become visible enough for everyone to notice. Do not skip, because the next sentence may stay with you longer than you expect. The reason certain doors remained closed was not because your story was forgotten, but because a different door required your patience first. There are answers that only make sense after the page turns. There are moments you will understand only when looking back. And when that understanding arrives, you will realize that nothing meaningful was wasted. Stay till the end, because what is approaching may surprise even you. The same place where you once expected nothing may become the place where new joy begins. The same hour you thought ordinary may become unforgettable. And as this chapter opens, remember this quietly but clearly. You are not standing at an ending disguised as hope, you are standing near a beginning that has been moving toward you longer than you know. Something huge is waiting for you, and the next part will go deeper into what must change inside before this new chapter fully reveals itself. Listen carefully now, because the deepest part of a new chapter often begins before anyone around you notices it, and what is changing inside you at this very moment may be the clearest sign that your life is no longer standing where it used to stand. The outside may still look familiar, but inwardly, something has already started shifting. Do not skip, because something huge is waiting for you, and many people fail to recognize the beginning simply because they expect immediate proof. Yet the strongest changes often begin as a quiet certainty, a calm feeling, a new kind of patience, or a sudden clarity that arrives without warning. You may have noticed lately that certain things no longer affect you the way they once did. Words that used to stay in your mind are losing their weight. Situations that once disturbed your peace no longer carry the same power. This is not because nothing matters. It is because your spirit is being prepared for a chapter where you cannot carry old reactions into new places. Stay till the end, because one of the rarest revelations is this: before life changes around you, it often changes how you see what is already around you. The same room feels different. The same morning feels different. The same questions no longer sound the same inside your mind. Something subtle is teaching you that you are not where you used to be, even before visible results arrive. There were moments when you thought your story had become too quiet, too delayed, too ordinary to hold anything remarkable. But quiet seasons often hide the strongest preparation. A seed does not announce itself while growing beneath the ground, yet one day everyone sees what was happening in silence. Something huge is waiting for you, and this next chapter may begin with one surprising realization. The things you were once chasing may begin coming toward you when you stop running in fear and begin standing in peace. That peace is important. Not because life becomes empty of challenge, but because peace allows you to recognize what belongs and what does not. In earlier seasons, confusion may have made every voice sound urgent. But now clarity is beginning to separate what deserves your attention from what only distracted you. Do not skip, because this sentence may matter more than it first appears. Not every closed door was rejection, some were protection from entering too early. There were moments when you wanted answers immediately. You wanted movement immediately. You wanted confirmation immediately. But now, looking back, you may already sense that some things had to wait until your heart could hold them without fear. Stay till the end, because what is beginning for you is not only about receiving something new, it is also about becoming someone steadier while receiving it. A strong chapter requires a strong center. That is why your recent thoughts have been different. Why certain old habits no longer feel natural. Why some conversations feel less meaningful than before. Why your attention has been quietly moving toward deeper things. Something huge is waiting for you, but it will not always arrive wrapped in the shape you imagined. Sometimes the answer looks unfamiliar before it becomes beautiful. Sometimes the opportunity first appears small before it reveals its full value. There may soon come a moment that feels ordinary at first, a single day, a single word, a single invitation, a single inner decision. And later you will realize that everything after that moment began changing because of it. Do not skip, because people often miss life-changing moments while waiting for dramatic signs, not realizing that gentle beginnings often carry the strongest future. The chapter ahead also carries restoration for thoughts that became tired from waiting. There are dreams inside you that became quiet, not because they disappeared, but because they were resting beneath disappointment. Soon, some of those dreams may begin speaking again. Stay till the end, because one once-in-a-lifetime truth must be heard fully. The future often arrives first as permission to believe again, to hope again, to imagine again without fear of being disappointed. And when that permission fully reaches your heart, you will understand why this message found you now and not earlier. Something huge is waiting for you, and the page is turning more than you realize. The next part moves even closer to what this new chapter may soon reveal in ways you did not expect. A moment is approaching when you will look at your life and quietly realize that something has already changed before you even found words for it. That is how powerful chapters often begin, not with immediate noise, but with a quiet shift so deep that your heart notices it before your eyes fully understand it. Do not skip, because something huge is waiting for you, and this part may speak directly to the question you have carried silently: why now, after everything that has happened, does it suddenly feel as if something new is near? The answer is simple and powerful, because not every season is meant to last forever, and what seemed fixed was never permanent. You have crossed through moments that taught you patience in ways you never planned to learn it. You stayed present through days that felt uncertain. You continued through silence when answers were delayed. And now, without fully seeing it yet, you are standing near a point where those long quiet days begin giving back something meaningful. Stay till the end, because the next truth is rare. Many people think a new chapter begins when circumstances suddenly change, but often it begins when your inner voice stops agreeing with fear. That inner shift matters more than most realize. The moment you no longer speak defeat over what has not happened yet, the moment you stop assuming tomorrow must look like yesterday, space opens for something different to enter. Something huge is waiting for you, and part of its arrival may come through an unexpected calm. Not excitement first, not loud proof first, calm. A calm that tells you to keep listening. A calm that says the page is turning even if the room still looks the same. There are things that once seemed delayed beyond understanding, yet delay often teaches recognition. If everything had arrived earlier, you may not have known how to value it. If every answer had come immediately, you may not have learned how deeply you could endure and still remain open. Do not skip, because what is coming next may be one of the strongest lines in this message. The chapter beginning for you carries a different atmosphere than the one behind you. What belongs ahead will not feel like constant struggle. It will carry clarity where confusion once lived. This means certain old patterns will naturally lose their place. Some worries that once repeated daily will begin fading. Some thoughts that once felt heavy will no longer return with the same force. A new chapter changes more than events, it changes what continues to hold your attention. Stay till the end, because there may soon be a day that appears ordinary until one detail changes everything. A sentence spoken by someone. A new opening. A fresh decision. A quiet realization that suddenly becomes impossible to ignore. Later, you may look back and say that was the exact moment the chapter began revealing itself. Something huge is waiting for you, but you must remain open enough not to dismiss beginnings because they arrive gently. There are chapters that announce themselves loudly, and there are chapters so meaningful they begin with quiet certainty. This one may be the second kind. Do not skip, because some listeners are hearing this at the exact right moment, just before they were about to assume that nothing meaningful could happen soon. Yet often the strongest shift begins right after the moment people almost stop expecting it. You are not being led into repetition. You are not being returned to the same page with different words. What is opening now carries new meaning, new timing, and new understanding. Stay till the end, because one once-in-a-lifetime realization remains. What felt slow was not empty time, it was hidden preparation for a chapter that needed stronger ground beneath it. And when that chapter fully opens, even small details will begin to make sense in ways they never did before. Something huge is waiting for you, and the next part moves even deeper into what this opening may soon reveal inside your daily life. What you are about to understand now may explain why your heart has been sensing movement even during ordinary days, because some chapters begin long before visible proof appears, and the first evidence is often a quiet feeling that something no longer fits the way it once did. Do not skip, because something huge is waiting for you, and many people overlook this exact moment. The point where life begins changing internally before anything changes outwardly. You may still be in familiar surroundings, yet inside, a different strength is rising. Thoughts are becoming clearer. Certain fears are losing their voice. Certain old disappointments no longer control your imagination the same way. This is not accidental. A new chapter often begins by gently removing the weight that belonged to the previous one. Stay till the end, because there is something rare hidden in this transition. The very thing that once made you question your direction may soon become the reason you recognize your next step with unusual clarity. You once thought waiting meant standing still, but waiting has been teaching you what deserves your energy and what never truly deserved your peace. Not every delay was empty. Some delays quietly separated you from paths that looked right but were never meant to last. Something huge is waiting for you, and it may arrive through something you nearly dismiss because it seems too simple at first. Be careful not to underestimate simple beginnings. Many unforgettable chapters start with one ordinary-looking moment that later becomes unforgettable. A thought may return strongly. A conversation may stay in your mind longer than expected. A fresh sense of confidence may appear where hesitation usually lived. These are often the first signals that your next page is no longer distant. Do not skip, because one powerful truth belongs here. What is opening for you now does not need to resemble the past in order to be real. Sometimes people expect future answers to look exactly like former hopes, but life often brings something stronger by changing the shape of what arrives. Stay till the end, because your next season may carry a kind of peace you once thought only came after everything became perfect. Yet peace often arrives before perfection, teaching you that strength does not always wait for complete certainty. There are moments ahead when you may surprise yourself by how calmly you respond, how clearly you choose, how naturally you move where fear once stopped you. That calm is part of the new chapter. It is evidence that something deeper than circumstance is changing. Something huge is waiting for you, and this is why your attention matters now. Some people miss beginnings because they are too focused on what did not happen yesterday. But the new chapter asks you to notice what is quietly beginning today. Even now, There may be something around you that already feels different, a new thought, a new desire, a new level of stillness, a new patience. Small signs often arrive before large confirmation. Do not skip, because another once-in-a-lifetime realization must be heard clearly. Not every closed chapter ends with explanation. Some pages turn first, and understanding follows later. You may not yet know why certain paths became quiet, why some answers delayed, why some expectations changed shape. But as the new chapter unfolds, understanding often arrives naturally, without struggle. Stay till the end, because one day soon you may notice that what once felt uncertain suddenly becomes simple. A direction becomes clear. A decision becomes natural. A peace settles where confusion used to speak. Something huge is waiting for you. And the reason this message matters now is because beginnings often ask for openness before they reveal full meaning. The chapter ahead is not asking you to force anything. It is asking you to remain awake, attentive, and willing to believe that gentle shifts can carry extraordinary outcomes. And when the first clear sign appears, you may realize that the chapter had already begun while you were still wondering when it would start.